Hi guys, welcome back to Spiritual Pathways here on MDN. I'm Kalia. If you are new here, welcome. And if you haven't subscribed yet, click the subscribe button. We want you to be a part of us. And today, God is saying, I am making provision. When I am through with you, you won't remember what you have gone through. Being with God is where we experience the awe-inspiring supernatural realm of blessings as revealed in scriptures. And today, God is saying, let us delve into the extraordinary ways in which we can experience His blessings that shall overflow in our lives. And this video, I had this dream. I had this dream where I was really in a desolate place. I didn't have anything. I was struggling financially. I didn't have food or anything like that. And I was there with a friend. The friend had came to visit me. We were chit-chatting and laughing, even though I didn't have anything. I didn't know where my provision work was coming from. And then soon after, two persons came to my home with food. They had food. They brought the food, and I took the food from them, was gracious for it, and then I went back inside the house to come back out to the two people. And then when I came back out, I was so surprised to see the entire lawn of my home completely packed with people with groceries. They had vehicles. These vehicles were packed with groceries, bulk of food, different food items and supplies. Like, say you would have gone to like a store like Mega Mart to make bulk purchases of food, and so like I was opening a supermarket, and I was shocked. I was like, where did all these people came from? The lawn was entirely covered. I couldn't see. There was no place. I couldn't see any grass. No place at all was left open on the lawn. It was completely covered with people, with food items and groceries and all of that, supplies. And it didn't stop there. Soon after, there were so many food and vehicles and people that even other people came by. They kept coming by, and these people were themselves getting food from the supplies that came for me. So many other persons were coming, and they got food supplies. They were eating. Everybody was happy, laughing, having a jolly time. It was like a whole event on my lawn with the food items and supplies. And soon after, even I myself, I forgot that I was the one who in need, and these food items came for me, because soon after, other persons were receiving food items from what was on my lawn, and they were being fed, and everybody was happy. And God is saying, I'm making provision, and when I'm done blessing you, you won't remember what you have gone through. And I don't know if you know the story of feeding the 5,000, but we're going to look at that, where Jesus fed 5,000, and we're going to use this scripture as our biblical basis for this lesson this evening. So it says Matthew 14, reading from verse 13. We're going to read from verse 13 to 21. It says, when Jesus heard what had happened, he withdrew by boat privately to a solitary place. Hearing of this, the crowds followed him on foot from the towns. When Jesus landed and saw a large crowd, he had compassion on them and healed their sick. As evening approached, the disciples came to him and said, this is a remote place, and it's already getting late. Send the crowds away so they can go to the villages and buy themselves some food. Jesus replied, they do not need to go away. You give them something to eat. We have here only 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish, they answered. Bring them here to me, he said, and he directed the people to sit down on the grass. Taking the 5 loaves and the 2 fish and looking up to heaven, he gave thanks and broke the loaves. Then he gave them to the disciples, and the disciples gave them to the people. They all ate and were satisfied. And the disciples picked up 12 baskets of broken pieces that were left over. The number of those who ate was about 5,000 men, besides women and children. Besides women and children. And I want you to know that God's hand is on you, just like his hand was on that 5 fish, that 2 fish and loaves of bread. All right. And once God's hand is on you, like his hand was with that little small bit of food that they had to share, then came supernatural multiplication. And same way, when your life and situation is in the hand of God, we will have supernatural multiplication and provision, even when we don't see where it is coming from. And even if it's a situation where you are broken and you don't know how to navigate your way, God will mold your situation in such a way that it ends up blessing others. And looking back at my Christian life, my most important work for Christ came when I'm in a desolate place, and I actually gave my struggles and my worries and my chaos to God. And because in my own strength, I wanted God to take away my problems, just like the disciples wanted to send the multitude away. But God is saying that there is a miracle. There is a miracle in your situation. And don't try to send it away. Don't try to pray it away. But see that you can give it to him. And when his hand, the potter's hand, has your situation, then comes a miracle. He's going to mold it into a miracle. So God wants you to give him your situation. Probably it's a financial situation. Probably it's even food, just like the dream. Just know that God wants you to give it to him, and he wants you to watch how he, as the potter, will mold the situation. Just like the potter would mold the clay and make it into a beautiful masterpiece. Watch how God will mold your situation and make you into a beautiful masterpiece for his glory. And whatever situation it is, maybe it's financial, God can provide. He can provide even when you do not see a way. All right, so watch how he'll take the broken pieces and the what left that you have, and think that, oh, I am insufficient, or whatever I have is insufficient. God is saying the little that you have is perfect for your miracle, because you have placed it in his hand. And even if you haven't placed it in his hand, he's asking you today to do that. Place your situation in his hand. Come in agreement with this word and give it to God, and watch the potter. Watch him work it out for you. God says, I'm turning your situation out to be fruitful. You can't do it alone. Give it to me. Put it in my hands. And when I'm through you and your situation, you won't remember what you went through. You won't remember where you've been. And even if you remember, you're going to look back and see how far you're coming from. And the blessings and the provisions and where God is taking you, it's going to be so much that those around you will benefit from it. God says, I am making provision. I have the power to do it for you. And when I am done with you, when I am done with your situation, when I have turned it around, all you have to do is give it to me. And when I turn it around, you won't remember what you're going through. You won't remember what you have gone through. And even if you remember, it will be a testimony as to what God has done for you. So give him that situation. Give him that situation. And when he has done with you, you won't be able to contain all that he will give, because it's going to benefit others, whether that is a spiritual benefit, whether it's financial benefit, whether it's monetary, whether it's spiritual or it's physical. When I am done turning your situation around, it's going to be very fruitful, it's going to help others, and it's going to be for my glory. It's going to be for his glory. And in the tapestry of divine blessings, there lies a realm beyond the ordinary. There lies a realm beyond the ordinary, an overflow of God's grace, his abundance, and his supernatural favor. And I went through challenging times, still is going through challenging times, but when I had surrendered to God in the past, and now I'm surrendering to God as well, when I had surrendered my challenging times to God, his blessings overflowed in ways I could have never imagined. And God is asking us to come in agreement with him and surrender these different varied situations that happened and is happening in all of our lives, and watch how God and his supernatural hand will turn it around for your good, for my good, and for his glory and his purpose. And in the book of Ephesians 3 verse 20, what does that say? It says, now to him who is able now to him who is able to do immeasurably more than we can ever ask or think or imagine, according to his power that is at work within us. Can you imagine? God is able to do so much more than we can ever imagine. And a lot of times God is not going to do it until we come in agreement with him, and we are walking in his ways, and we are using his instructions to go forward in our situation until he turns it around. And as we conclude today our episode of God's divine overflow that is coming in our lives, may you be inspired by the limitless blessings that God has in store for you. May you be inspired. He says, child, give the situation. Give it to me. If you can be careful to follow this command and follow these instructions and just give it to me. He said, when I am done with you, you're going to surprise yourself. You're going to surprise yourself. You're going to be surprised. His blessings going to overflow. And when he's done with you, you won't remember what you have gone through. You won't remember those terrible things, and when you remember, it's gonna be for a testimony and for his glory. So go remembering that when God's supernatural favor flows, it transforms not only our lives, but it causes a ripple effect. It causes a ripple effect of love and abundance. And go remembering that God is turning your situation around. He's about to turn your situation around. Just trust him. Give the situation totally to him, and watch him work in your lives. So thank you guys for watching. It was great being back on Spiritual Pathways one more time with you on MDN. Stay tuned for another episode next week of Spiritual Pathways, and we have much more in store for you here on MDN. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up, share with a friend, don't forget to subscribe, become a part of the MDN family, and we'll definitely see you next week. Hey there, MD fans, thank you for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go ahead and click the subscribe button right down next to me so you won't miss our life-changing videos and content here on Mirror Defense TV. Thank you guys for watching, and it's our hope here that if you haven't been, you'll start seeing yourself differently through Christ with us every day.